is $12.
Wow, just look at this place. It's so cool.
We're seeing the history of an ancient civilization. It's truly one of mankind's treasures.
Look at this. Breathtaking.
Oh yes, this is the famous gold burial mask of the pharaoh Tutankhamun.
This is incredible. I can't believe that something made so many thousands of years ago is still in such beautiful condition.
It does have a certain allure, doesn't it? When it was unearthed in 1922 by Professor Carter, who was an English archaeologist, it became a worldwide phenomenon. All the other tombs in the area had been looted by grave robbers, but this one had been overlooked. Its treasures appeared the same as when they had first been buried. It was the most extraordinary collection of Egyptian artifacts ever uncovered up to that point.
Why did that particular tomb survive intact?
Well, that's been part of the mystery. It might have been luck.
Or maybe there was something keeping the grave robbers away. The truth is, after all these centuries, the reasons are still unknown.
Ah, Professor Herschel, how are you? It's been such a long time. You're looking very well, old friend.
Thank you, Gilmore. You too.
It's our pleasure to meet you, Dr. Herschel.
Will you be taking us around today?
Mm-hmm. I have lots of wonderful things to show you. This is the burial place of King Tutankhamun.
Wait a minute, it's not a pyramid.
You're right, and that's on purpose. The pyramids became such targets for the gangs of grave robbers that it was decided to mask the later tombs by making them look very ordinary. This is the entrance chamber to the king's room.
Look at that! Tutankhamun's mummy!
Something about his expression seems so sad.
In fact, he may have been sad. They called him the Boy King. He came to power early and died at 18. No one knows for sure, but they say he was most likely poisoned.
Poisoned, you say?
Even though he was a king, he was little more than a pawn of some powerful men behind the throne.
They used him, then they killed him. What a sad history. Look, those flowers he's holding. They still have a faint touch of red left in them.
Yes, Cartomus tinctorius, commonly called the Egyptian safflower. It's said that when Professor Carter finally opened Tutankhamun's coffin, the scent of those flowers still lingered inside. The Queen probably left them here when she came to say goodbye.
There was a queen? You mean at his age he was married?
Oh, yes. Tutankhamun ascended to the throne at the age of 9 and married the 11-year-old Ankhsenamun at approximately the same time. It's said they had quite a happy marriage. I like to think they found a certain measure of peace in each other's company, especially considering the amount of intrigue going on. It seems like someone was always plotting to overthrow the king.
Still, to have the one you love taken from you at such a young age must have been hard. I wonder how the queen felt when she laid these flowers here.
This has been very enlightening. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to show us around.
Don't be silly, I don't mind. I couldn't very well refuse a request from an old friend now, could I?
Dr. Herschel, I'm confused. You're a medical doctor, aren't you? I thought ancient Egyptian mummies were only studied by archaeologists.
That would be the normal state of affairs, but recently the mummies have been damaged by a virus. As a result, the Egyptian government hired me and commissioned a study to find ways to prevent any further deterioration. The bottom line, my boy, is that I've been brought here to give the mummies a physical.
Is their condition really that bad, Doctor?
Awful. And the worst one turns out to be the body of Tutankhamun. But I'm still conducting tests. It's somewhat early to make a diagnosis.
Are you worried at all, Herschel, about examining Tutankhamun's body?
You mean the Pharaoh's curse?
What is the Pharaoh's curse?
Beware, he who disturbs the king courts death.
Where did you come across that?
I found it inscribed on an inside wall of the tomb. And the truth is, many scientists did pass away somewhat mysteriously. There was the man who discovered the tomb along with Lord Carnarvon and his brother, not to mention Professor Carter's right arm, Arthur Mace, and his secretary, Richard Beazle. In all, there were, let me see, 21 deaths.
That's not funny, Herschel.
Oh, come on. It was just coincidence, Gilmore. Let's not forget that Professor Carter lived to the ripe old age of 65. I must say, you're awfully superstitious for a scientist.
I am not. I don't know what you mean.
Professor! Professor Gilmore! Open the door, it's an emergency!
What do you want this early in the morning, my boy?
Sorry to have to wake you, sir. I'm afraid it's Dr. Herschel.